Tech Talks.
What's up? What's going on, Tom?
What's going on? Not too much, man. Welcome, guys. Welcome, everybody. This is episode
9.
Episode 9.
And I really want to kind of transition into this whole BRICS thing because I am learning so much from all the news outlets and from, in particular, an article that you sent me the other day.
I sent you an article
You
about
did.
it.
You did. You sent me an article about BRICS, and anybody out here that doesn't understand what BRICS is, I compel you to dig into it.
Yes.
If you care about your money and you care about your financial future, I want you to understand why BRICS exists and what BRICS is trying to do.
Yes.
So what I personally learned through my research is, first of all, let's talk about what is BRICS. BRICS is a group of countries. It is Brazil, it's Russia, it's India, it's China, and South Africa. These countries, what they're trying to do is they're trying to create what they call a global currency outside of the U.S. dollar.
Outside the U.S. dollar.
Right.
And right.
Because the U.S. dollar has dominated the global market since 1944. I actually did my research, and I was amazed that first of all why it was done, but why it's done and what the power that it upheld was amazing to me. Because so the BRICS, basically what they're trying to do is they're tired of the United States controlling the market.
Absolutely.
I.e. the petrol market, the oil market.
The oil, right.
So they have created this group of countries, and I don't know if you know this, but there are several new countries that just got involved in it.
I've noticed that.
Right.
Yeah.
And the newer ones, I actually did a little research and found out that Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates.
Emirates, yep.
Let's see, it was a couple of other ones. Let's see, I'm trying to find it in my notes. Argentina. Egypt. Yes. Ethiopia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so now what we're doing is they're creating a system that with all of these countries involved in the system, they're going to be able to, they're taking basically power away from the U.S. dollar. They're decreasing the value of the U.S. dollar.
Yeah, absolutely.
By trading, but I found it interesting of why they want to do it. So I didn't realize that when that conference and that I forget how to pronounce it, but I think it's called Britain. Britain conference.
Yes.
When they created that, it was because they wanted to stabilize the international trade. They wanted to stabilize money basically.
Yeah. Right.
And so what they did is they came up with an idea that the U.S. dollar would be the preferred currency, meaning that you cannot buy oil unless you use the U.S. dollar.
Right.
And that's in any country.
Right, yeah.
And then they tied that dollar to, initially it was tied to gold.
Yes.
Initially.
Yes.
And then, but I think they said in 1971, basically they didn't have enough gold to match the dollar.
Right.
So they basically said, wait a minute, we have to find another way. And so I can't remember what they actually did, but they did something to create. See, I'm trying to find that because that was very intricate to what they were trying to do. But I'll get back to it. But basically, what I found out is that that you cannot buy oil in your local currency no matter where you live in this country, in this world.
Right.
Oil, you can't buy oil.
Oil, right.
So
correct.
And that is amazing how the United States were able to make that happen.
Absolutely.
That amazed me.
It's an eye opener, and for the ones that don't understand why we're talking about this, it's because of now, and I think you guys are I think a lot of us are seeing that the dollar is being pretty much devalued.
Right.
When it comes down to you going to the gas station, you're seeing the oil prices, you're seeing the gas, up to $3 and some change. This is something that we're trying to that the United States is trying to control, but it's out of the United States' hands because of the reserves, and we aren't tapping into our own oil reserves, and a lot of their stuff is outside of the United States. And so when you ask about people complain about gas prices and things of that nature, Saudi Arabia is one of them that are getting away from using the petrodollar, and so that's what's happening. And we're going to start to see this a whole lot more with these countries that are trying to tap in to this new type of system. In a sense, though, Tony, it's kind of biblical. It's kind of biblical. That's what I'm saying. Like when it comes down to how people view our dollar because of the things that we have going on geopolitically.
Right.
It's all in the news. It's just so much going on here that it's making our dollar unattractive.
Right.
Even with the Fed going up on the interest rates, and I can't wait till they start cutting interest rates.
Right.
I don't know when they're going to do it, but just going by what Jerome Powell was saying, which is he's the chairman of the Federal Reserve, he's still saying, guys, that we're still spending way too much, and we need to get the inflation down to 2%.
Right.
Right now, he's saying it's like at 4 some percent right now. We still need to get it down to 2%.
Right. And can I read this to you?
Yeah.
I read this when I read this article. It said something that goes along the lines of what you're talking about. It said BRICS countries believe reducing the dependency of the dollar for the following reasons. It says interest rate hikes in the U.S., quantitative easing, twilight of the petrodollar, and high-level U.S. debt is risky.
It is. And what is quantitative easing, guys? We're going to dig deep into this because it's time for us to understand how things work. And quantitative easing has been going on before COVID, and this is the tool that our government used to kind of not create a shock into the system. And so what that is just that you're printing money. You're constantly printing it, and you're printing out more notes than anything, and that kind of smooths out the economy. It kind of smooths out the purchasing power of the dollar. And again, I can't say it enough, but the dollar that we have, when you do read them, they are notes, and it's kind of like kicking the can down the road. But at the end of the day, these countries that we deal with on an international basis, it's all about trade. It's
right.
All, you know what I'm saying?
It's all about trade.
It's all about trade. And at the end of the day, they're seeing that this dollar being inflated. Who wants to do business when I'm giving you an inflated currency?
Right.
You don't want to do business with me after that.
Right.
It's just like on the streets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're putting too much baking soda into the product.
In the product.
I hate to come down, but that's what we've been
I think
doing.
people can relate to that. That's what they're doing.
I got you.
What's interesting is they were saying that this they want to create a monetary system where you can use your local currency to trade.
Yes.
To buy oil.
Yes.
Because I noticed they said that China, they actually have made an agreement with Saudi Arabia to buy oil in I think it's called the yuan, the yuan,
the
petro yen.
They're talking about the Saudi Arabia currency.
Well, no, China, because
the yen.
Right, because China wants to. Well, because again, people are trying to get away from buying oil with the U.S. dollar.
Yeah.
So they want to buy oil in their own currency because it brings the value of their currency up.
The yuan. I'm sorry, guys. I said the yen. That's
it's
Japanese.
the yuan.
It's the yuan.
Yeah.
It's the yuan.
Yeah. So they're calling it the petro-yuan now because they want to create instead of the petrodollar, they want the petro-yuan now.
It's something.
Because, but see, this one article I read, they said that even though that's kind of like China's, they're pushing that. Really, what BRICS wants to do, they want to create their own currency.
Yes.
So the currency which to me I think would be smarter, is not to give all the control to a currency that already exists, even though it has some buying power behind it. I would rather create a new currency that you can actually value through all of these countries that are in BRICS,
right.
And then you can really, I think you can control it, and it's more fair.
Yes, absolutely.
Because equity,
absolutely.
I think one of the problems that that I understand about with the dollar is that because the United States has so much control of how they can manipulate the money, how they can manipulate the currency, that it puts a disadvantage, number one, to smaller countries.
And even through sanctions.
Right.
You know
and that
even
was something.
Through sanctions, man.
I didn't realize the power that the U.S. has to impose sanctions because they control all of the oil. I mean,
Absolutely.
How you buy oil. It's amazing. I tell you, that was a move. That was a move.
Yeah. Absolutely,
it was an incredible move on their part,
and that's how that's how we stay who we are as a superpower too. When you control the money like that, right?
Right.
You can say, hey, who can play ball and who can't,
right?
You see what and we've been doing that for a while, and things are starting to change.
People want to be friends with countries want to be friends with who they want to be friends with, and they don't want to be told that if you're friends with this country, that we may impose sanctions on you to prevent you from doing what you need to do for your country. Because at the end of the day, each country has leadership that has to answer to their people.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely,
when you with this global this dollar being so powerful, that it really affects how the people feel about their own leadership.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's amazing.
It's the dominoes are falling, and when you see things like that these countries are coming together to come up with their own type of currency, and they're actually, and these countries are on the Eastern Hemisphere.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So they're coming together. It makes you wonder about, hey man, what are we going to be like here in the United States? How are we going to be about this change? Because to be honest with you, a lot of these changes are going to affect a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of us giving you guys awareness. And please do your own research, guys.
Absolutely.
Please don't just take what Tony and I are saying as gospel. Please dig into this. After this show, we encourage you to look into this, so that way you understand that this is actually real. You was about to say something.
I was just going to say we need to care about the value of our money.
Yes.
Because whether it's long term or because a lot of analysts are saying that it's a long term prospect of the dollar meeting its demise in the global market. But at the end of the day, when you investing in 401ks and you investing in bonds and you investing in these things, it affects the value of your money.
It does.
And most people tell you don't just put your money in the bank because you basically losing with what do you call it? Inflation. You basically losing value every day.
Right.
Versus investing your money. But no matter what you do with your money, if it's in the dollar and the dollar starts to lose value, then it takes more dollars.
Absolutely
to get what you want.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. And that's an awareness that we need to be to understand, that's actually happening.
Right.
And a part of the BRICS information that these countries are doing, they're thinking of other payment rails as well, and certain digital assets are a part of the BRICS payment rails too. one of the companies that we talked about in a couple of episodes before, Ripple.
Right.
They're going to use some of these digital payment rails, and Ripple is one of the companies that they are going to use. So that, it might sound like a demise to the dollar or the person that's on the street that holds a bunch of money, because I have uncles that have a wad of cash, and they, you know what I'm saying, they walk around with it. But at the end of the day, they don't understand exactly what's actually happening outside the United States that will potentially be a problem.
It's going to devalue that wad of money in your pocket.
Exactly. So if you guys stay with Financial Tech Talks, we do talk about other opportunities, even though it might seem like we're talking about, something that you don't want to hear, but there's always opportunity when it comes down to any transformation of anything, you know what I'm saying? And so especially Ripple is one of the companies that will be a part of the BRICS initiative that will help transfer money seamlessly throughout different currencies.
Right, and one thing too is,
I'm sorry, Ripple the company, but the token that they're using is XRP.
Right, but one of the things that I was thinking is the money is the actual physical cash is going away.
Yeah, man, it's crazy you said that.
All right.
Because my wife and I, we love going to this theme park out here. We're in Tidewater, Virginia, guys, and it's a park called Busch Gardens. It's a theme park, and we go there all the time. We enjoy ourselves, man, like thoroughly. And as of the beginning of this year, they gotten away from cash.
Right.
They have a ATM machine, a Visa ATM machine. You take your fiat currency, you put your money in that, and they give you a cash card. They give you a credit card,
right,
a debit card,
and then you take that.
And you take that, and that's how you spend your money.
Yeah, they do that at the arcade. They do that. It's like they do it at the train stations. Nowadays. It's getting to the point where, and it's a strategic. I think it's a strategic process that the United States and other countries are using to eliminate cash.
Absolutely.
Because now you don't have to print it. All you got to do is put it on a computer.
Yeah.
And on a server.
Put it on the server. Yeah. And you can track it.
And you can track it. And it's going to. And I tell you, tracking money. Having money under your mattress ain't the same as having it in the bank.
I'm telling you, you're right.
Because literally, you could control when a person can take their money out. I've heard situations of banks failing.
Yes.
And they lock the doors.
Well, that happened this year.
This happened recently.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So that right there should be a prelude of, okay, there's a flaw, right?
Right.
And that's already happened. People are upset about the things that happen with the bank, especially in California.
Right.
And it's a problem. And so the reaction is, okay, let me just take my money out the bank. But then there's a solution, and that solution will be in the future this digital asset stuff. Man.
Right.
You don't have to. You can govern your own money.
Right.
In a sense, and because I'm telling y'all, man. With inflation and things of that nature, even though it's a tough topic, it affects the middle class big time. Guys.
Big time.
It does.
Yeah.
It affects the middle class. You got the average household. They say, I read an article. They said the average household, makes around, in the middle class about $50,000 in the whole year.
Yeah, and that's in a family of four. And a lot of times they measure it of a family of four.
Exactly.
So that's hey
man, that's a long division to me.
And so that means that's something. But so I think now I want to talk about something. You sent me a text the other day regarding some topics, and what's this thing about this ESPN Disney partnership?
Man,
streaming. What is
man.
that?
I think streaming, man. Streaming is a good idea, and in fact, I just now I got through my boss at my company. He has his own streaming service.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he has over 1,200 some channels, and I'm getting channels all over the whole world. When I'm saying I get channels all over the world, and it's off of the Google Chromecast.
Okay.
And so it's just strictly streaming, and you don't have to be tied to the arcade cable companies,
Right.
because right now, what my who I have for my cable, I'm paying $200 a month.
Yeah. Well,
You know what I'm saying?
I
don't
dropped them.
watch.
I dropped them a long time ago.
So you cut the cable?
I haven't had cable in 5-6 years because everything we have is streaming services.
Wow. Okay.
Every single thing, we have cable just for internet. The internet,
Yeah.
the internet connection.
Right.
But far as TV, watching TV, everything is different streaming services, and I love the a la carte idea of being able to buy what you want specifically instead of.
Yeah, and I think it's a win-win for all. It's more of a win-win for Disney. Well, not Disney, but it's a win-win for ESPN. Disney is going to be who they are,
Right.
But as far as people understanding who ESPN is, let's just be honest. You you can get your sports from anywhere. It doesn't have to be ESPN.
Right. You don't
And
have to
ESPN knows that.
pay for subscription to watch that, and you can literally get it from anywhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think ESPN understands that hey, you know what? There's still Fox Sports.
Mm-hmm.
There's still other avenues that people can actually watch content. NFL Network, whatever, NBA channel. There's a whole lot that ESPN realized that are eating their margin.
Mm-hmm.
So to actually put it on a streaming service, like you were saying, the benefits of it,
Right.
I think it's a no-brainer. I think it's a
definitely.
great idea. I think Amazon as a company, we all know Amazon, they're crushing it, and to add that extra layer on top of what they already have as far as Amazon Prime, I think they have the Amazon NFL Amazon subscription too during football season.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So
I-
they
I
already
get-
stuck their foot into that.
Yeah.
So I think it's good for ESPN
Right.
overall.
Right. Yeah, I think so too. But
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. So, everybody probably, if they did any research, know that the cable market itself is declining
Man,
year over year.
Tony, it is.
I
Because
mean,
my
it's-
wife, you're right, brother.
It is. It's declining. You remember you used to see direct TV trucks everywhere. You used to
Absolutely.
see, like local
right.
cable companies
Yeah.
everywhere. You don't see that stuff.
You
no
don't
more.
see it no more.
You don't see nobody.
That's a good point.
You don't
You're
see.
right.
You don't see that no more because people are not going to pay that cost when they know they have a cheaper alternative.
Right.
They're not going to do it.
Oh man, it's amazing, and it's an eye opener for me. I still have cable in my house because I have other TV sets, and my mom, she still lives with me, and she's still on the cable service. But so right now we have the Google Chromecast. I love it. I have every channel you can think of in the world. Plus the new movies that come out before they come out. I mean, when they come out, I get those.
Right.
It's way better than what I have, and so I'm trying to okay. I like it. Let me just go ahead and cut it off. Get the device from my mom, and I'm saving $100 and some a month.
Absolutely, that's expensive.
In this inflationary environment, you know what I'm saying?
Entertainment. See, the beauty of entertainment is that everybody understands how entertainment affects the human psyche. They want to entertain you, but we want to be entertained as low cost as possible.
Absolutely.
So that's at the end of the day, it comes down to dollars and cents. And so I know that at the end of the day, streaming services is going to be where it's at. The thing to do. So.
And Disney in this article here, they're just saying Disney they're considering charging about $25 to $35 a month for the service. You know what I'm saying? And so, everybody that's into the sports and everything, especially football season and things of that nature, you might want to, check it out. Probably next year it'll drop, but right now they're still in discussion with it. They're still talking about it. But I see it being a good thing, man.
Right.
Overall, for Amazon. not for Amazon. Amazon is already a Goliath, but for ESPN, because Disney is who they are. You know, Disney. They're into the movies. They have the theme park. Disney is already.
Yeah, they're covering a lot of spaces and entertainment for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So big ups to ESPN.
Right. So another interesting topic is Tesla.
Man.
So before I get into this, what's their stock looking like right now?
Actually, I was going to get into that when you said that. Tesla right now is trading at $257 a share. A share. And Tesla, and this is on the daily time frame. Let me go back on the monthly chart. We had a little dip back on August the 21st, but it rebound from there, and back then it was trading at $215 back on August the 21st. And since then, with today is the 29th as we're recording this, it's already jumped up 15%. We're up to $257.18. I'm sorry, up 10%.
Okay.
$257. So Tesla right now is, I mean, Elon Musk. They're good, man.
They're doing well, things. But I see, and you know what? It's funny. That's why they always say it's really good to get into the industry, get into something first, because Tesla is, they're the leader in electric cars, or what's the technical name for electric? What's that called?
What is it called? I want to say.
I can't think of the technical term, but they have a technical term for electric cars. But they are getting some competition out here. There's a couple of companies that I've been watching that haven't got some nice products coming out, and a lot of the big three have nice electric cars out there. But Tesla is still the leader, and they're killing it, because I know a couple of people who own Teslas, and they are very nice cars.
Yeah, I was surprised about how nice Teslas were. We're technicians. We do electronic security, so we come across a lot of type of businesses. And we provide security for them on the electronic side. So it can be, whether it's fire, whether it's CCTV, which is cameras, access control, intercom. You can go on IDS, intrusion.
All of that.
But I was quite shocked. I was at a parking garage doing a fire inspection, and I noticed that these charging stations in this parking garage, they were everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing all these, not just Teslas, but all different makes, model of electric cars.
Right.
That I didn't know that are out right now in the industry. And I was shocked. I was like, man, I didn't know Audi made an electric vehicle. I didn't know that, Chevrolet and Ford.
They all have them, because they understand that's the future.
Yeah,
that's the future. And what's crazy is, I was looking at this article that talked about Tesla basically wanting to increase their bottom line by giving the consumer an alternative. So when you go get your vehicle charged, they want to have a drive-in theater there.
Come on, man, that is nice.
Yeah, they want you to be entertained, and they want to make money on while they're entertaining you and charging your vehicle at the same time. Because I had a weird thought the other day. I said to myself, so it used to, and we're talking probably 30, 40 years from now, there probably won't be any petroleum, any gas cars.
I can see that. Yeah.
So it used to be a time you could go to the gas station, fill up your tank in 3 to 5 minutes, out of there. Now, until they come up with a technology where you can self-charge your cars, which is going to come.
Absolutely.
But I don't think it's anytime soon, but it's going to come. You got to wait to get your car charged. I mean, literally, unless you have a charger at home, like my brother, he has a Tesla, and he has a charger station, in his house. So he's not he's not stuck just having to wait to go to a charging station. But if you buy your Tesla and you don't have a charging station at home, that literally means you have to go somewhere and charge it.
And you have to go, right.
And even the quick charge.
It's the convenience of it, right?
Yeah, and I know that they have the quick chargers, which I think, don't quote me on this, but I think it's like an hour or 30 minutes, something around there. And then they have the slower chargers where, and I'm sure that it's based on cost, like how fast your car charges, how much you're going to pay.
You're right, yeah.
Because I know my brother was telling me that they used to, when you bought a Tesla, you used to could basically get charging for free. But the newer Teslas, they don't have that ability where you can get all your charging for free. So you have to, like everybody else, you have to pay to charge your vehicle. And I could see that being an expanding market. But can the average guy, get in a position where he could actually buy property, put charging stations on it, and make that happen? Is that affordable? And I have to research that because I really want to know for myself.
I think it can be. I think that guy or girl that are that already has the vehicle, has the know-how to understand where they are financially, whether it's because you own a electric vehicle already, right? So you already, your mindset is already on this type of new type of way of getting around, right? And at the end of the day, too, if you're already a step ahead of that, right? You're already in that avenue of driving an electric vehicle. They might be already aware of what we were talking about earlier, the digital type of payment systems and things of that nature. And so they may capitalize on that because the average American don't see the benefits right now on going electronic. A lot of people that do are probably workers of Tesla or know
tech
somebody.
People love technology.
Or tech people, right?
Yeah, they
and
love.
And if you're a tech person, then you kind of understand the movement that's what's going on outside of that, and understand the whole concept of money and things of that nature. So I think in the future, I think those people will be ready for that type of movement.
Right.
And then too, I hate to get into politics, but even certain areas, certain places like in California, Governor Newsom is creating incentives for people to go electronic.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? And so if the governments are doing that, because it's not going to stop, that will bring awareness to that type of industry. And so when you have your governors and things of that nature saying, hey, you get this if you go electronic, that creates awareness to people, right? And so when you create awareness and you feel like, hey, it's more of an incentive to go electric than to continue to endure those brutal gas prices, things of that nature, you might want to pivot, right?
Yeah.
And that's how I you know what I'm saying, because that's what's happening in California right now.
Yeah, and I don't want to be a pessimist, but my thought process is that what's going to happen is, and I can see this down the road, that as the electric, I know I wanted to say the EV, as they become more of a everyday vehicle for the consumer, for every American, you're going to have cars that economical EVs, and then you're going to have of course the luxury EVs, and we get to a point where there is no more gasoline vehicles, then you're going to start seeing that price to buy electric go up.
Yes, absolutely.
It's gonna. I mean, that supply and demand.
Yes.
Philosophy is gonna go. To the point where now you're gonna be mad because I gotta pay so much for these hours of charge. We'll be mad about that next. But it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. I think it just what Tesla's doing I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that's driving these Teslas, man, and it's crazy. You see a whole lot of them up in the Northern Virginia area,
Yeah.
up in the Washington D.C. area.
lawyers,
And I'm just like, my wife and I, we're just looking. We're like, yeah, there's a bunch of Teslas out here.
If I go to the doctor's office at the Williamsburg Hospital, I was up there doing a service call one day. I was working on these emergency call boxes, and I looked in the doctor, because doctors have their own parking lot.
Yes.
They don't share parking lots.
Yes, they don't.
The regular
Of course.
guy, they have
They
their
wanna
own
give you
parking
the-
lot. So
Right.
I would say out of the maybe 40 cars I seen, at least a third of them was Teslas.
Oh wow.
And then the other, it was probably maybe a few, maybe 10% of them was like Mercedes, other luxury vehicles. But I was just amazed at that, like how they've taken over.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and it's just going to get, as far as the EV market, it's just going to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%, man. And I think that if you look at who's also, excuse me, guys, who's also doing this EV transformation, GM.
Mm-hmm.
GM is a big manufacturer when it comes down to your cars. I mentioned Ford, Mercedes. They have
Yeah,
their
the ESQs, I think, or EQSs or ESQ, something like that. I've seen some really nice electric Mercedes.
Oh wow.
EV Mercedes, yeah,
Yeah.
very nice.
You also, Volvo. They're big on safety, but
Yeah.
they're putting their hat in the ring when it comes down to EV vehicles
Mhm.
too. But overall, that's the move that we're going to, and I don't see it slowing down.
Yeah, me either.
I don't see it.
Oh no,
Yeah.
once that ball started rolling, because one of the things is, and this is not to go on a tangent, but you talk about the environment. So from my understanding is that it's going to cut down on emissions, issues. But what about all of these batteries?
And I had that was a question too that I had, Tony. You're not the only one, because I haven't do any research on that part,
Mhm.
but I think that will be something that no one is thinking about right now at this moment, and I think that's something in the future we need they need to figure out, because yes, what about the batteries? What about once a battery completely dies on these vehicles? Because I heard replacing one of those batteries costs as more as you bought an electronic car.
Yeah, and that's crazy.
That's a lot, man.
Yeah, so they're gonna have to come
They
up
have to
with
figure
a
out something.
recycling process which you can reuse the components from those batteries, even if it's for something else. But you can't just have a stockpile of we already got stockpiles of trash. We don't need stockpiles of batteries.
We don't need stockpiles of batteries,
So.
And I think they're the experts. They'll figure it out, and
Well, I hope so.
Well, me too.
Me
too. But it's something to think about. But hey, that's the way the world's going.
Right.
Hey, this is I'm happy that we are able to be in a position to educate our audience on these topics, and I think these topics are something that hopefully it will stick with you, and then please, like I said earlier, do your own research behind them,
Right.
so that way you can position yourself or your family in the right direction, because these things aren't going to stop.
That's right.
So
That's
guys, please do that. But yeah, man.
So I think we've covered a lot today, and we work together developing the show. So if you have any suggestions, you can reach out to us. So we have a list of all of our social media that we're on. So do you have that, or do you?
Oh man, you can follow us on the Financial Tech Talk platforms we have. As far as our social media accounts, on YouTube, it is Financial Tech Talks on YouTube. Just it's the way it's spelled, the way I'm saying it, Financial Tech Talks. Just search that, you'll see our YouTube channel. Same thing on TikTok and Instagram as well. And again, we will have the links to our Discord channel that I spoke about earlier. That you will have great signals from one of our partners. Name is Jerome. Shout out to you once again, my friend, and shout out to Ramon as well.
What's up, Ramon?
So they're constantly posting great signals as far as when it comes down to the stock market. So that will also be linked in our social media pages.
Yeah, and a couple of them I forgot. We started a Facebook Financial Tech Talks Facebook page as well.
Yeah.
So if you're a Facebook person, we'll be downloading our videos on Facebook as well. We are streaming across most streaming services, but we do prefer that you use iHeart simply because it's easy. You just download the app. It's free. It's no cost to you, and you can watch all of our episodes. We have, I think this is episode 9. I'm pretty sure, and you can watch, the other episodes if you like, and I'm sure there's something in there for everybody. So check us out.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, man. So we just want to say thank y'all for listening and watching. We appreciate everything. We appreciate the audience. Hey, we want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, our Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and you have anything else?
I just want to say thank you, and we'll catch you next time.
Yeah, man. Peace.
Peace.